Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. This is one of my favorite quick sewing projects to do, and that is to make basket liners for the different seasons of the year. Now this particular basket has two handles, one on each side, and also when you make the liner you have to do this end a little differently. You notice I have two openings down here. On this one here that I'm about to show you, you only have one. So I will have a separate tutorial on how to measure and do this one here. That will be in your description section down below your YouTube screen. So you scroll down, click on the word more, and that section will expand open. Okay, let's get started. The amount of fabric you're going to need for a basket liner really depends on the size of the basket. So you need to measure your basket to figure out how much fabric you're going to need. This one is about 10.5 inches or so across this way, and the bottom is about 8.5 inches. So I'm using a little less than 1/3 of a yard. So that'll kind of give you a little bit of an idea of how much you're going to need. So the first step, real easy, put your basket on top of your fabric, and I would do it on the not so pretty side, the back of the fabric, and you're going to go out about 1/4 inch from the edge of the basket and begin drawing a circle all the way around your basket. Then cut on your drawn line. Now, using a tape measure is you're going to measure, just place your tape measure on one end of the handle and pull the tape measure all the way around to the other side to find out how much fabric you're going to need to wrap around the sides. So once you have around the basket measured, add 1 inch to that will be used to attach the ends together. Then you're going to need to measure the height of the basket and how far over the edge you want your liner to hang. So put your tape measure at the bottom of the basket and then go up over the top and down however many inches. I added about 2.5 inches from this edge right here down. And once you've measured the height and how much over to this edge you want it to hang, then add about another 1/4 inch that will be used in your seam allowance. So right now, here's my piece for the bottom, and this is the piece for the sides and hanging over the top. So after you've measured the height, you want to add an additional 1/4 inch to that measurement that will be used in the seam. Then on that piece that goes around the side, you're going to do a long basting stitch, anywhere between 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch from the raw edge. I set my stitch length to about 0.10, so it's going to be a fairly long stitch. Make sure you have a tail of thread at each end. Then mine already, because of the number that I set it to on the link, already gathered a little bit, so I really don't have to do much gathering. But if you do, you pull on your top thread and begin to gather it up a little bit, just a little bit. So your next step is to take the pretty side with the gathered edge and put it down against the pretty side of the bottom piece. And you're going to pin it all the way around. Now, if you need to take some of the gathers out, all you need to do is just kind of pull on the fabric a little bit and you can remove some of the gathers. I don't worry too much on basket liners if my gathers aren't perfectly spaced. No one's going to see the bottom of it. So, but you can take a lot of extra time and perfectly space everything if you like. So once you've got it pinned, then you want to bring your two ends together. So I'm just going to grab all of this, and then you want to pin this edge. So bring the two edges together and do about 1/4 inch wide seam from one end to the other. Now you may want to select a stitch to close up your side seam. That's called an overcast stitch. And most of your computerized sewing machines have that on there. Look in your user's manual to see which one they have. If you don't have any overcast stitches, then at least do a straight stitch along here, your 1/4 inch wide seam, and then do a zigzag stitch over the raw edges. After you've stitched your side seam, then finish pinning down the bottom edge to the circle piece at the bottom. Once you've got that done, then you're going to either do an overcast stitch around the edges or a straight stitch 1/4 inch wide and then a zigzag stitch over the raw edges. So right now this is what it should look like. Here's the bottom and then here's the sides, and I'm just going to turn it front side out so you can see what it looks like. So there again, you will have little tucks at the bottom, but don't worry about it. No one's going to see it. Now you're going to measure from the inside of the handle, right here, where it starts, across to the inside of the handle over here. So after you've measured that distance, mine is 3.5, divide that by 2, which is 1 3/4. Now fold it in half. Here's the inside. Fold it in half. And here is the center seam. I have mine in the middle of this folded area. This is the folded edge. So from this folded edge, go over 1 3/4 inches and do a mark. And because my handles are about a 1/2 inch wide, I'm going to go over another 1/2 inch and do a mark. Put your tape measure over the inside edge of the basket. Mine is about a 1/2 inch across. And then go down the number of inches you wanted your basket liner to hang. So mine comes out to 3.5 inches. Place your ruler on this first mark, and I'm going to draw a line 3.5 inches long. Go over to the second mark and draw a line 3.5 inches long. And then you're just going to kind of curve the end like this. Now go over to the other edge and repeat all of these same steps. Place a few pins to hold the fabric together. Then go ahead and cut right on your drawn lines. Now you should have 2 of these slits at each side. On my basket liner, I used 1/2 inch wide double fold bias tape that's going to cover the edges. You can get this at Joann Fabrics and Crafts, Amazon.com, Etsy.com. Some Walmart stores will sell it. A variety of stores will sell this. So I'm also going to use 1/4 inch wide on the little slits. You can use the 1/4 inch also on the bottom if you choose to. So when you look closely at your double fold bias tape, you will notice that one edge will not necessarily be even with the other edge. The shortest edge is placed showing up on the pretty side of your fabric. So you lay your fabric in there all the way inside. Then you stitch on this edge all the way across. So you're going to put strips of bias tape, either 1/2 inch wide or 1/4 inch wide, on all of your bottom edges. Now you want to measure how long you want your ties to be. So I added about 12 inches to the length of my tie, plus whatever you need up in here, and then all the way down to the other end. So measure that and cut all your ties the same length. Fold your bias tape in half to find the center. Then start inserting it up here in the very top of that opening. I'm using these little clips. You can get them at Joann's, on Amazon. And it's easier if you have the clips on than to try and pin this. So then you fold the edge. Remember, the top edge of the bias tape is the shortest side, so you want that on top. Then go ahead and pin it down the other side. Then to close it up, you're going to start sewing at the very bottom of your bias tape on top, all the way up over the opening, down the other side of the opening, and down to the bottom edge of the bias tape. So this is what mine looks like when it's done, and then here it is on the inside. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you learned something new. Remember, the other type of handle, the basket liner for that single handle, there's a link down below your YouTube screen, so don't forget to check that one out. Also, when you're down there looking at that particular link, I will have links to other projects that you might be interested in. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and make sure you check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.